What if I told you that the greatest power you'll ever wield is the ability to shape your own life, free from society's expectations? The world conditions us to follow a script, one that defines who we should be, how we should act, and what we should want. But the Sigma female is different. She refuses to be defined by anyone but herself. If you've ever felt out of place, as if you were meant for something greater, then this message is for you. Here are 6 essential guidelines to fully embrace your Sigma female power. From childhood, women are conditioned to fit into a mold. They are told to be soft-spoken, accommodating and nurturing, always placing others' needs before their own. Society often paints an ideal of femininity that revolves around dependence, submission, and emotional fragility. But the Sigma female does not conform to these preordained roles. She understands that these expectations are merely constructs, designed to keep her within boundaries that do not serve her highest self. Reclaiming your narrative means stepping away from external definitions of what it means to be a woman. It means rejecting the idea that your worth is measured by your relationships, your ability to please others, or your adherence to traditional gender roles. Instead, it's about defining yourself on your own terms, becoming the woman you choose to be, not the woman society expects you to be. Consider Joan of Arc, a young woman who refused to be confined by the passive, obedient role that medieval society imposed on her gender. In a time when women were expected to remain silent and subservient, Joan led an army. She listened to her own convictions rather than obeying societal norms. Her courage and defiance weren't just acts of rebellion. They were declarations of self-sovereignty. She reclaimed her narrative and refused to let others dictate her story. In modern times, this principle still applies. In the workplace, a Sigma female doesn't wait for permission to take the lead. She asserts herself based on her capabilities, not societal expectations. If she wants to be a CEO, a scientist, or a solo entrepreneur, she pursues it without concern for whether the world deems it appropriate. She does not seek validation from others, nor does she allow outdated stereotypes to limit her ambitions. Rewriting your narrative also requires breaking free from the guilt that often accompanies non-conformity. Many women feel obligated to fulfill roles that drain them: caretakers, peacemakers, supporters, often at the expense of their own dreams. The Sigma female understands that self-sacrifice is not a virtue when it comes at the cost of her own potential. Prioritizing oneself is not selfish, it is essential. Stoic philosophy teaches us that external forces do not define us. It is our inner character and choices that shape our destiny. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." The Sigma female embodies this wisdom, refusing to let societal expectations dictate her life. She alone decides who she is, what she values, and how she will live. Reclaim your narrative. Be the author of your own story. Emotions are often seen as a double-edged sword, capable of both great strength and great suffering. Society teaches women that emotions make them fragile, that vulnerability is a weakness to be hidden. But the Sigma female sees things differently. She understands that emotions, when harnessed correctly, are a source of power. She does not suppress them. She refines them, turning pain into wisdom, fear into courage, and heartbreak into resilience. This process is what we call emotional alchemy. The ability to transmute difficult emotions into personal strength. It is the difference between being controlled by emotions and using them as fuel for growth. Instead of allowing anger to consume her, the Sigma female channels it into action. Instead of letting grief paralyze her, she transforms it into understanding. Instead of allowing fear to dictate her choices, she uses it to sharpen her awareness. A powerful example of emotional alchemy is Maya Angelou. She endured deep trauma and hardship, yet she refused to let her suffering define her. Instead, she used it as the foundation for her poetry, her activism, and her wisdom. She once said, "I can be changed by what happens to me, but I refuse to be reduced by it." This is the essence of the Sigma female mindset. She acknowledges her emotions, processes them, and then uses them to build herself into something stronger. In the workplace, this emotional mastery allows her to remain calm under pressure, to navigate conflict without being overwhelmed, and to lead with both empathy and authority. Unlike those who lash out impulsively or retreat into self-doubt, the Sigma female regulates her emotions with purpose. She is neither cold nor overly reactive. She is intentional. In relationships, emotional alchemy enables her to set boundaries. She does not tolerate toxicity, manipulation, or codependency. If someone betrays her trust, she does not crumble. She learns, adapts, and moves forward with greater clarity. She refuses to let past wounds dictate her future. Every challenge, every heartbreak, every disappointment is transformed into a lesson that strengthens her spirit. The Stoics believed that external events do not control us. It is our perception of them that holds power. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." The Sigma female embodies this philosophy. She does not allow life's difficulties to break her. Instead, she extracts wisdom from them. To master emotional alchemy is to take control of your own narrative. It is to say, "Yes, I have felt pain, but I am stronger because of it." When you learn to transform vulnerability into valor, no obstacle can defeat you. In a world that thrives on control and conformity, true autonomy is a rare trait. Many people live their lives seeking permission to speak up, to make decisions, to take charge of their own destiny. But the Sigma female needs no permission. She is her own authority, her own leader, and her own source of validation. She embodies self-sovereignty, the ability to govern herself without relying on external approval. Self-sovereignty is more than just independence. It is a deep-rooted understanding that your life belongs to you and no one else. It means taking full responsibility for your choices, your actions, and your future. It means leading yourself, even when no one else is watching. One of history's greatest examples of self-sovereignty is Cleopatra, the last active ruler of Egypt. Unlike many women of her time, she did not wait for men to determine her fate. She seized power, made strategic alliances, and ruled with intelligence and autonomy. She did not conform to the submissive role expected of her. She dictated the course of her own reign. Like Cleopatra, the Sigma female understands that true leadership starts from within. By mastering herself, she naturally commands the world around her. This principle applies to every aspect of life. In the workplace, the Sigma female does not need a title to be a leader. She does not seek authority for validation, but rather embodies it through her actions. She makes decisions with confidence, stands by her values, and commands respect, not because she demands it, but because she has earned it. Her presence alone influences those around her. She does not play office politics, nor does she compromise her integrity for approval. She leads herself first. And that is what makes her truly powerful. In relationships, her self-sovereignty ensures that she is never dependent on anyone for happiness or security. While she may choose to love deeply, she never loses herself in the process. She sets boundaries unapologetically, walks away from toxic situations without hesitation, and refuses to compromise her values for the sake of fitting in. Her self-worth is non-negotiable. The Stoics believed that true freedom comes from within. Epictetus once said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." The Sigma female understands this at her core. She is not controlled by external forces. She is ruled by her own mind, her own principles, and her own sense of purpose. So ask yourself, who's in control of your life? If the answer is anyone other than you, it's time to reclaim your power. Become your own leader, master your autonomy, step into your self-sovereignty, and watch the world adjust to you. Most people view solitude as something to be feared, a void that signifies loneliness or rejection. But the Sigma female understands that solitude is not a weakness. It is a wellspring of strength. True independence is cultivated in the moments when no one is watching, in the stillness where you confront your thoughts, ambitions, and fears without external influence. Unlike those who seek constant validation from social circles, the Sigma female thrives in her own company. She does not need to be surrounded by people to feel complete, nor does she fear walking alone. This is not because she is antisocial or incapable of forming connections, but because she recognizes the immense power in solitude, the ability to develop self-awareness, sharpen her mind, and fortify her inner resilience. Take Virginia Woolf, a literary icon who championed the idea that every woman needed a room of her own to think, create, and grow. She understood that solitude was not about isolation, but about space. Space to breathe, to cultivate one's identity, and to shape one's path without interference. The Sigma female, much like Woolf, sees solitude as an opportunity to build herself, rather than an emptiness to escape from. This strength in solitude translates directly into personal and professional life. In the workplace, a Sigma female does not rely on office politics or alliances to rise. She trusts her own abilities and carves her own path. In relationships, she does not stay in situations that drain her just for the sake of companionship. She chooses her connections carefully, preferring quality over quantity in friendships, partnerships, and collaborations. The world often equates social success with constant interaction, networking events, group activities, and an overflowing social calendar. But the Sigma female measures success differently. She finds fulfillment in self-mastery, the ability to rely on her own wisdom rather than external approval. This is what sets her apart. Her sense of self is not dictated by how many friends she has or how many people admire her. Her value comes from within. Stoic philosophy echoes this mindset. Seneca once said, "Nothing is as good for the soul as a season of withdrawal into ourselves." The Sigma female embodies this principle. She knows that solitude is not an exile, but a sanctuary, a place where she refines her purpose, strengthens her will, and emerges even more powerful. Solitude is not something to run from. It is a gift, a space where your truest self is revealed. Embrace it, and you will find a wellspring of strength that no one can take from you. From childhood, society teaches us to fit in. We are rewarded for following the rules, praised for thinking like everyone else, and encouraged to take the safe, well-trodden path. But the Sigma female sees through this illusion. She understands that true brilliance, true power, lies in non-conformity. The ability to think independently, to challenge the norm, and to carve out an existence that is uniquely her own. Non-conformity is often misunderstood. People assume that going against the grain means rebellion for the sake of rebellion. But for the Sigma female, it is about something deeper. It is about authenticity. She does not reject societal norms simply to be different. She rejects them when they do not align with her truth. She is not bound by trends, traditions, or expectations. She makes her own decisions, guided by her own inner compass. Consider Nikola Tesla, a man who refused to conform to the established scientific beliefs of his time. While others followed the accepted teachings, he pursued unconventional ideas, leading to groundbreaking inventions that changed the world. Tesla's brilliance stemmed from his willingness to think differently, to challenge the existing systems, and to explore the uncharted. Like Tesla, the Sigma female sees the value in thinking beyond limitations. She's not afraid to question authority, challenge outdated beliefs, or take an unconventional route in life. This mindset gives her an edge in every aspect of life. In the workplace, she is the visionary who sees possibilities where others see obstacles. She does not conform to toxic corporate cultures or blindly accept rules that stifle creativity. Instead, she pioneers new ideas, revolutionizes systems, and brings innovation wherever she goes. She thrives outside the mold, making her an invaluable asset in any field. In relationships, her non-conformity means she does not follow traditional expectations. She does not seek validation through societal milestones, marriage, children, or a particular lifestyle, unless they genuinely align with her desires. She creates relationships on her own terms, prioritizing depth over convention. Whether she chooses partnership or solitude, it is always a conscious choice, not a societal obligation. The world often resists those who think differently. But as Marcus Aurelius wisely stated, the opinion of 10,000 men is of no value if none of them know the truth. The Sigma female does not let the majority dictate her path. She embraces her unconventional mind as a superpower, recognizing that the most influential thinkers, creators, and leaders were once ridiculed for daring to be different. So, ask yourself, are you living by your own truth or by someone else's expectations? To embrace your Sigma female power, you must step boldly into the unknown. Break the mold. Challenge the norm. Let your uncharted mind lead the way. Most people live within invisible walls, boundaries set by tradition, fear, and societal conditioning. They are told what is possible, what is realistic, and what they should aim for. But the Sigma female does not accept limitations imposed by others. She understands that her future is hers to create, not something dictated by circumstances or expectations. Pioneering your own destiny means refusing to follow a predetermined path. It means questioning the narratives that say you must settle for an ordinary life, that you must choose security over passion, or that you must sacrifice your dreams for practicality. The Sigma female knows that limits exist only in the mind, and she is not bound by them. A prime example of this mindset is Amelia Earhart. In an era when women were expected to be homemakers, she dared to dream beyond the skies. She did not ask whether society approved of female aviators. She simply became one. She pursued her passion with unwavering determination, proving that the only true barriers are the ones we accept. Like Earhart, the Sigma female does not wait for permission to chase her ambitions. She does not conform to what is expected. She forges her own path, regardless of the obstacles. In the modern world, this mindset is just as essential. Many people hesitate to take risks because they fear failure, criticism, or stepping into the unknown. But the Sigma female understands that growth only happens outside the comfort zone. She embraces challenges, knowing that each obstacle is an opportunity to refine her skills, strengthen her resilience, and move closer to the life she envisions. This applies not only to careers, but also to personal fulfillment. The Sigma female does not settle in relationships, friendships, or environments that limit her growth. She doesn't remain in places that suffocate her potential. Instead, she chooses expansion, constantly evolving, learning, and seeking new experiences that align with her highest self. The Stoics believed in taking ownership of one's fate. Seneca. Chut. Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. The Sigma female does not wait for fate to hand her success. She creates it through bold decisions, relentless effort, and a refusal to let fear dictate her choices. So ask yourself, are you living the life you want or the life you were told to live? The power to shape your future is in your hands. Break the mold, embrace the unknown, and craft a life that knows no limits. The world belongs to those who dare to pioneer their own destiny. Will you be one of them? The journey of the Sigma female is not about rebellion for its own sake. It is about awakening. It is about shedding societal expectations, embracing independence, mastering emotions, thinking beyond the norm, asserting self-sovereignty, and fearlessly crafting a future without limits. This is not just a philosophy, it is a way of life, a commitment to owning your existence in every possible way. But here's the truth: awareness alone is not enough. Many people recognize the systems that try to confine them, yet few take action to break free. The Sigma female is different. She does not just observe, she transforms. She understands that knowledge without action is powerless, that knowing her worth means nothing if she does not set boundaries, that understanding independence is meaningless if she still seeks approval, that identifying her dreams is pointless if she does not pursue them with unrelenting courage. Reclaiming your narrative means writing your own story, free from outdated definitions of femininity. You are not here to shrink yourself for the comfort of others. Your worth is not tied to external validation. It is something you define from within. Mastering solitude is not about isolation. It is about strength. The ability to stand alone is what makes you unshakable. The Sigma female does not fear being alone because she knows her greatest ally is herself. Emotional alchemy is the art of transformation, turning vulnerability into power, setbacks into lessons, and pain into purpose. The world may try to break you, but it is within your control to decide whether you will be weakened or forged by fire. Non-conformity is not defiance, it is authenticity. The Sigma female does not reject norms just to be different. She does so when they do not align with her truth. She understands that every great mind, every innovator, and every trailblazer once stood alone before the world caught up. Self-sovereignty is the ultimate form of freedom. It is the understanding that no one, not society, not family, not expectations, has power over you unless you grant it to them. You are your own leader, and you set the terms of your existence. And finally, pioneering your own destiny means refusing to let fear dictate your life. The future is not something that happens to you, it is something you build. The Sigma female does not wait for opportunity. She creates it. She does not hope for change. She becomes the force of change. So, now that you have this knowledge, what will you do with it? Will you remain where you are, or will you step fully into your Sigma power? If this message resonated with you, like, share and subscribe for more content that fuels your transformation. Your journey doesn't end here, it begins. Step forward, boldly. The world is yours to claim.